Oh my gosh, you guys, seriously, we are going nuts in the house right now. Hi, welcome to the Survivor After Show at thestream.tv.
Take a breath.
I
know.
My name is
Where
Jerri
are we?
Manthey. Yes, I still remember who I am, despite the fact that I'm so excited right now I can barely stand it. And to my left is Justin Walter, my lovely co-host, and to my right, Ryan Carillo, who showed up in matching outfits this
I know,
evening
we did not mean to do that.
to celebrate the finale.
Why is he lovely and I'm not lovely?
Because you're still a bitch.
How dare you?
You know, that joke will never get old. It's kind of an inside thing
Takes a
going on
bitch
right
to
now.
know someone.
Yes,
Go
it
ahead.
does. I will admit that. Hi, everybody.
Oh, gosh. My heart is beating so fast.
I'm losing it. I'm completely losing my mind right now. And you know, the hardest part for us is to focus on the episode that happened before the Survivor Second Chance reveal.
We are already on season 31, people.
Wait, isn't this the first after show for season 31?
This is our premiere episode.
It totally feels like that. It's so crazy.
Our phones
Okay.
are blowing up. Everyone's excited. So.
Yeah, so it was, I mean, even though we totally want to talk about the Survivor Second Chance reveal and who's on it, we have to talk about the finale episode for Worlds Apart. We have to.
We will talk about 31 at the end.
Oh, boy, are we ever.
Wow.
I mean, I'm serious, my
Even
heart
though the
is
winner
racing.
hates us, we still have to talk about it for, I guess, 5 minutes.
No, he
Hi,
only
Mike.
hates you, Ryan, if you want to be technical about it. And you know what? Let's touch on that a little bit, actually, because Ryan threw a party last night,
Yes.
a Survivor pre-party.
Yes.
What was your interaction like with the cast?
Well, I've thrown the Survivor parties for the past 8 seasons. And the cast always loves me, as most people do. And this cast, for
It's like
some
a
reason,
PSA.
I know, I'm going to throw up.
this cast, for some reason, is not having me this season. I'm sorry, my comments have hurt to the bone, and I've been more traumatizing than Shireen on the island. But
Oh, you mean Will?
or all of them.
Or Dan.
Or Dan.
No, this
Dan.
cast does not have a sense of humor, so I'm not laughing at you either.
Well, you know what? I'm very glad that you brought this up, Ryan, because I think I need to address the cast of Survivor Worlds Apart, because there is a lot of animosity that is being held towards the three of us.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I just want to, say this, okay, for the record. I've been on Survivor 3 times, and I can honestly say that nobody has ever gotten the flack that I got. Nobody, ever, in the history of Survivor. And therefore, that gives me the right to talk smack about people that are on each season.
Right.
But in saying that, I want to be very clear. We are commenting on what we see on the show. We are not commenting on the person you are because we don't know you.
Right.
So please, just have a sense of humor and know that that's what we do for a living, and it's all in fun. Laugh at yourself, learn something about yourself through the experience, and take something with you away from it.
I just, as a fan, I talk about.
I'm getting off my soapbox.
As any fan, though, what we're doing is talking about Survivor as fans. I talk about Survivor with all my friends, with friends from college, my parents, and you talk as a fan. You talk about strategy, you analyze it, you may not agree with what people do. That's the fun of watching a show like this and why we love doing this all the time.
We love
Right.
Survivor.
I'm excited to talk about the finale and
Let's
keep
also
doing
just point
this.
out this is a game show, people. We're not curing cancer, and it's just a joke. So lighten up.
Yes.
Like, who cares?
Have a sense of humor about it. We get paid to sit here and make fun of it and talk about it, and we have fun, but we love the show.
And we would have nothing to say if you guys were not dumbasses. So get your shit together.
We would not have anything to say if you didn't give us a lot of material.
Let's
That's
do some
very
little
true.
Fist to that.
Wow,
honey.
look at this. All right, let's go. Let's do
Hey.
this. We got a big show to talk about.
But we love you guys, so just get over yourselves for 5 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
So, all right, at the top of the episode, we have Mama C, who realizes that she either has to go with Mike or with the guys, and she realizes that, even though she likes Mike and she trusts him now, she still is going to stick with the majority. And I just think that was a really great moment where we got to see that Mama C is absolutely worthy of $1 million, right?
Well, I don't know. What do you think the situation would have been, Justin, if she would have lined up with the other people?
I mean,
Because I feel like she really just didn't have a choice.
At that point in the game, though, it was all still the whole, the last 5 weeks. Get Mike out, get Mike out, and obviously winning 5 immunities in a row. They never had that opportunity.
Right.
We've all said Mama C or Mike, we'd be happy with either of them winning.
Exactly.
We were happy with the outcome of the show. If Mama C would have won, I still would have been happy with Mama C winning. She played a game where I thought her argument in the jury, which the jury was all more about comments compared to questions, I felt.
Right.
Way more.
Way more like, let me say who I think should win or give you a comment, whereas
Right.
I thought we would have heard more about
Or directing it back to the jury saying, this is how you should base your votes versus like answering my questions.
Yes.
There was
Well,
no
I
interviews.
thought Mama C, the difference I made between Mama C and Mike was Mike got there because he won 5 immunities and he did play strategically, where Mama C had the argument of, I did win immunities, but I'm not here because of immunities. I'm here because I made the moves I made throughout. I made big moves, and that's why I'm here.
Well, she
And we
was
can talk all
so
about that.
strategic.
She was very strategic.
I mean,
the entire game.
she's like, okay, I know we got to
Yeah.
get rid of Mike, so I still need to stay with the other players in order to go after Mike.
But she obviously had a connection with Mike strong enough that Mike carried her to the end with him.
Oh,
Right.
dear God. Yeah, we were like sweating bullets.
Oh, my
'cause
God.
I
Well,
thought
see-
it was Colby and Tina all over again. I kept going, I'm in Australia right now. This is going to be
Right.
another Texan mistake.
I will say Mama C somehow did all these like big moves during the game without really ruffling that many feathers. Like she was able to do it, like sort of stab these people in the back with a smile, if it makes sense, versus
like Tina.
versus like going in there and just causing like pure hell. Like you didn't really hold didn't really hold much resentment to her. Like Mike obviously knew she wanted him out a long time ago,
Yeah.
but somehow she was able to use her charm, which we didn't see much of on how she did it to
Yeah.
keep him
And there was,
close.
obviously everyone's calling her Mama C and referring to her like the mama role, whereas someone did tweet me that, you know, a lot of times that mama role doesn't necessarily make people win, and it didn't work tonight. Monica in Blood versus Water, Dawn when Dawn came back, some of these people playing the mama roles, they don't necessarily, that means they're going to win. And clearly
No.
tonight it did.
No, but she was such a strategic
She was.
player. And she seemed to always be 2 steps ahead of everyone else, although that didn't mean a whole lot with the people that were left.
Right.
Right?
You actually thought she was going to get a lot more votes.
I thought she was going to
Oh,
get
yeah.
a lot more votes. And you look at it this way, too. She did have a hand in each side. Mike could have easily gotten rid of her and secured what we thought. You know, we didn't think people would vote for Rodney.
No.
And even though people at the end raised their hands saying they would have voted for Rodney, would they have in the end voted
No.
for Rodney?
And
No.
Jen raising her hand after she basically gave that whole speech about playing the game, judging it off the moves in the game, and then she would have voted for Rodney.
I think
this
she was
completely
being-
discounts her. And she must have been doing
No,
it just 'cause
she
she's
was being a
facetious.
smart ass.
Yeah.
That's all. I like Jen. After tonight, I refound my love for her when she addressed the jury and she was
Oh.
like, you guys, this is about who played the best game, period. She's like, you guys are all bitter. I've never seen anything like this. You guys are gunning after Mike not to win, even though you all know he played the best game.
Right.
I loved that she addressed
What do you
the
think
jury.
that bitterness in the jury was with Mike? Like, why were they so? Obviously, they thought he was
Dan.
a threat, but what is the anger with him?
I
think it
don't
goes,
know.
I think it goes back to the moment at the auction where if
For
you
Dan?
no, well, for most of them, because Mike was the leader of that alliance. Mike was always he was the top dog. Mike was in charge of the alliance. He was the one at the front, and then that move hurt everyone in so many ways that from that moment they wanted Mike out. From that moment on, they wanted Mike out,
Right.
and they never had the chance.
I'm just saying because like everyone knows that they're fans, or they say that they're fans of the show. I just don't understand how you don't, because he didn't do anything that was like damaging
No.
to somebody. Yeah, he did like kind of a dick move and thought about himself at the auction, but not worthy enough to have that such bitterness. Whenever he talks, they shake his head and they're pissed off.
It was, Dan
I don't
was
really-
glaring.
I don't get the correlation between the two.
I don't either, and I would really like to talk to Dan about that because I don't understand why Dan
I think
expressed
Dan is
such
banned from all
hatred.
press.
Oh,
When we get to
Dan
that
is
finale-
in big trouble with Jeff Probst
Wow.
at CBS. Let me just tell you, shame on you, Dan. Whatever you did, do you know what he
Yeah,
did?
he was doing a lot of press negative about how his edit was. He did a
Which
lot
is not unusual. People are upset about their
Jerry,
edits a lot.
you've done press like that before.
Well,
Yeah,
I
well,
just
that's
want
what
to
I'm
know.
saying.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Everybody comments on their edit, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand, if you take things out of context and you're based, and everything about you is based on that, and, Jeff playing a whole series of not
But
seen
who is
footage at
reading
the
Survivor
finale.
press right now? Like he's not
Crazy.
in like Vogue magazine. He's not on the USA
It's
Today.
Entertainment Weekly.
I know, but it's
those-
just like there's just only like very few outlets that are even covering
what
the show.
is
so it's
crazy, if-
confusing.
if-
it's blogs.
If what Jeff did tonight at the live reunion for Dan was
Call him
unprecedented.
out.
Never
A
been
full
seen
read.
before.
That was a full read. He set Dan up.
Yeah.
For
He
sure.
set him up.
Hardcore.
And hardcore. And Dan even said, "You're throwing me under the bus."
Right.
Showing that raw footage we've never seen ever. And I like the Jeff. I like that Jeff is defending the show a little bit.
He should. He needs
should.
to.
He's the executive
one of the
producer. He's the
producers.
host. It's his baby.
And
Right,
you called it out
right.
too to show how serious it was when they went to commercial break. He walked off
stage.
Which
Right.
was very telling.
Well, here's my question about that. Clearly something happened that we don't know about, because I can tell you from experience, this being the 30th season, there has been plenty instances where if you had shown the actual footage of something, it would be different than what someone else claimed it was.
Right.
But that's never been done before. So what did Dan do that was so drastically different that it drove Jeff?
I'll tell you exactly what he did. CBS, who's in charge of their press, they are, as we all know here, sticklers and very protective of the show. We could argue if it's good or bad for the show, to be honest with you. It's actually, most of the time we don't get the guests lately on our show because our show is live. They want to actually control what they're saying. At least
Right.
that's what
Even though
telling
they're
us.
totally safe here, CBS. I would never spoil anything. That's not my style.
And we could actually go off, it's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But anyways, but I'm
No
saying
wonder these people don't like you at your party.
I'm just saying,
Oh,
listen.
ouch.
I'm telling you, he went rogue. He went full Sarah Palin rogue and went off the deep end. And these people are so protective of their show that he didn't follow. These kids, most kids of these kids follow everything they do. Like, oh my God, I can't even go to this thing. Let me call to see if I have permission to go to a reality rally. Like, they're so
Right.
stupid. Because they're so scared of CBS. And Dan was like, I don't give an F. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want.
Well,
From what I heard, they all did that. And I don't know why they did that. I mean, I guess they did like a whole social media stance, and they said, we're going to go on social media. We don't care what you say, CBS, which is a real problem, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, even on YouTube, Carolyn Sweetser is saying, I don't like Dan that much. I think he's completely not self-aware. And there's a lot of comments about Dan on here just not being self-aware. And that's what Jeff was trying to say to him.
Right.
Like, do you think you're not getting what people are saying about you? Is this an eye-opening experience for you?
Right.
And he just kind of said, what you get is what you get, you know?
Well,
He
you know
obviously
what?
didn't learn his lesson. There's some people do these shows. I think this may have been an example for you. You actually saw yourself on the show, and maybe some things you said or did, you're like, I could have handled that differently.
Yeah,
you took
absolutely.
it for where it was.
I grew
AJ was
from
the
it.
same way on my show. He grew from it as well. But like, I don't know how you could not watch this episode or you see your behavior. And sure, there's some editing, there's some tweaks like everything else, but you still said what you said. And
Yeah.
you have to own up to it and either learn from it. And that's what they just wanted him to say. Yes,
I
I
learned
say this
something
sometimes.
about
I've learned
myself.
something and let's move on. But he just couldn't
Right.
say it.
Well, I would honestly tell all you guys out there to go on CBS.com and look at Dan's Ponderosa video, because it's a little shocking to hear him say he learned nothing new about himself. And then after tonight, I hope we get a chance to talk to him, because I really want to know if that attitude has changed.
Yeah.
Right?
he didn't want to talk to me last
Are there
night.
any YouTube comments? You know, I want you guys out there to know, go on YouTube, throw us your comments and your questions. We
Right
can
now,
answer them live.
Yeah, a lot of the comments
and
on
Twitter,
YouTube,
Twitter.
which is what we were talking about before we went live, is everybody's talking about second chances. Everybody's talking about who going which. Mike, congratulations, dude. You deserve that win. We're going to keep talking about your win, which you
No,
deserve.
yeah, we're not done talking about that yet.
We're not done talking about that. We'll get to second chances in a little bit. But also, Survivor 32, getting comments on here, the theme for Survivor 32 has been revealed as well.
What is it?
Brain, Brawn, and Beauty 2. So we
No.
can talk about that at the end. There's
No,
so much
we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah,
What is there to
boom.
talk
We're
about?
We're
done.
not worried about it.
No.
Thanks, guys, for
Big
the
Battle
update.
of the Race is back.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
jeez.
again tonight, the final episode, Mike dominated in every single challenge there was. He won everything.
Do you think it was fair or good at this point in the game to give someone an advantage in a challenge at a reward challenge? So after Mike won the
No,
reward,
I don't
which
understand. I
The
didn't
reward
understand that.
challenge was very similar to the challenge that he won previously, carrying the balls to put on off the seesaws onto the candelabras.
Right.
Very similar challenge that Mike won. And getting that advantage, clearly
In the maze.
you've done the maze challenge.
Yes.
Is that a huge advantage to be able to go explore the maze, even if your mom is kind of taking you in a crazy way?
Okay, well, here's the thing about the maze. First of all, I don't really understand why there was a clue or a benefit for him, some kind of clue. But I will say this. Knowing that it's a maze before you go into it kind of prepares you for it being a maze, when you're, instead of just walking in and not having the slightest idea what it is. When you get to do the maze, did the advantage really help? I don't really think so. You can't memorize a maze when your blindfold is on, and his mom didn't really know how to direct
I think
him
it
anyway.
totally helped him. I just think that just being in the apparatus and having that little comfort level and maybe having a little bit more, like you kind of can
Understanding
tell
of
where
what
the
it
rails
was.
are a few times. 30 minutes in there is a long time. And he's like, okay, I know the rails are this high. He can he just was a little bit ahead of everyone else, just a little bit.
But also-
I'd say even last season, the advantages that they're giving are huge advantages, which is just, it's the show able to control who they want to win, who they want to give the advantage to. So I understand them trying to do some kind of storyline and trying to like have like the whole world not scream if Rodney just won $1 million. But some of these
Yeah, that
like
wouldn't happen.
advantages, some of these advantages these people are getting are like what was it? Keith got that crazy advantage. We were like
he
Oh,
got
no,
to
no, but-
try the challenge.
Yeah,
and do
but that
it.
was
The whole-
different.
but it's-
He got to see what it was, and it
here's-
actually helped.
But here's the
got
thing
to
with the
really
maze.
do it.
When I was looking at the maze from a bird's eye view perspective, you have the center where you have to get your bearings. But if you notice, Mike put his back in the direction, and he always walked in the diagonal because the diagonal led you to the correct path. So I think
Exactly.
it is an advantage that he got to go, which
For
he
sure.
won the advantage. It's the rule of the game.
'Cause
It's
he
part
was
of
the
game.
only one doing that.
He was the only one lining up, and then he
Go.
went right directly to the
Well,
gate he needed
you
to
know
go to.
why? Because clearly he watched Heroes and Villains, where I did that maze, and that's exactly what you had to do to get your bearings
Yeah.
when you're blindfolded: is put your back up against it, feel the arrow,
Let's all
and go in
blindfold
the
ourselves to see if we
direction.
could make it to our cars when we
Oh,
left.
in.
I'd kick
I'll
your
win.
ass.
Done.
Well, I needed to. The crazy thing is in that immunity challenge, everybody trying to team up against him to help each other as well. It just goes to show they wanted to get him out.
But
so
here's the thing
bad.
about that maze, right? Even if you're teaming up with people, it's just more confusing. It
Yeah.
doesn't help because
No.
you have to be your own eyes. You can't listen to other people when you're blindfolded.
Yep.
It's just going to make you more confused.
This again goes back to the deaf girl. How in the world would she have done that blind and not been able to hear? I'm just going to say it again.
She already hates
Didn't
you,
you
Ryan.
host that party with her last
Why
night?
are
I
you
took a
still
picture with
talking
her,
about
that
her?
was it.
That's horrible. Okay, so anyway, so there was another challenge with a huge water slide that I'm looking at that thing going, that is bad news.
Someone's going to dislocate their knee. As I'm thinking that the whole time.
It's a water slide douche. That's what that is.
Maybe it's not so bad then.
It was so painful to watch that whole challenge. But I'll tell you something. You could see Mike wanted to win more than anybody else. I have never seen anyone just push through the pain and the fatigue and everything the way Mike did. Like
That's
it has
a
been
very
clear.
physically exhausting challenge.
Yeah, it's been clear from almost the beginning that Mike just wants this more than anybody else, and it really.
This is Jerry getting wet again for Mike. Day one when he ate the scorpion.
No,
legs.
stop
He ate
it!
the
I'm
scorpion.
being, I'm just watching.
You
You guys
the
are
thing.
evil.
They said a lot of times we heard in the season, and you've heard it. There were a lot of super fans on this cast.
A lot,
A
yeah.
lot of super fans, which I fully support. Super fans being on Survivor, and what it's great is they want to be there and play, but there is a different level. I think Carolyn and Mike brought it to a whole new level. Like Jen, for example, is a fan of the show, super fan, but she gave up. And it's
Right.
Totally gave up.
And it's where
Will
you have
never
super
seen an
fans.
episode.
Joe is a super fan, and I think Joe, I watched his Ponderosa video, he's going back into 31. He learned from his mistakes and what he needs to do moving forward. So there's
Right.
people, they put a lot of thought and wanting to win in this game, but Mike did bring a different level of intensity, a different level of skill. But also,
It was crazy.
maybe this is more philosophical, but where does it come to the point of, is Survivor more about just winning challenges versus, playing a game? Mike did everything excellent,
Yeah.
and he just dominated. No one ever stood ground to beat him in a challenge.
That's why he was such a threat, and everyone knew they had to get rid of Mike. They just couldn't because he kept winning.
But we've also know winners who have never won one challenge
Yeah.
before. So it's like there's a different formula for each time.
Yeah.
Oh, for
And
sure.
He knew the formula and did it right and won this time.
There is so much luck involved in the game of Survivor. Like, there's nothing you can do to provide or prepare yourself
Right.
for the game just because when
Sorry,
you get
Will,
out there.
there's definitely luck. There is no luck. The reason why we're sitting up here.
What?
You're liars,
What?
sir.
What are you talking
Remember he
about?
said that at the end. He said, "There's luck. There's no way none of us are sitting here because of luck. We're sitting up here because we earned it and everything else."
I missed that because that would have totally
This
pissed
is
me
Jerry's
off.
glass that she's been
Hey,
drinking
Gio,
the
there's a
entire
comment
show.
on YouTube I have to share. Rachel Sprinkles 9 says, "Can't blame Jerry. Mike hot."
I don't like how you said hot.
It's spelled H-A-W-T.
I get it, bro. I
Oh,
get it.
hot. Yeah.
Because you were getting
But like you,
What-
were, you were
excited.
drooling too.
Do we have some
No.
some good Twitter questions or comments out there? I would love to see some
We
of
do.
those.
I got a couple here. This is from Surviving. I have no idea. But this is just how do you feel about the new cast? What are you most excited to see? Like, who are you most excited to see?
Kimmy and Jeff Varner, absolutely 100%. Absolutely.
I'm happy a lot of the old school people got in.
Right.
I'm also excited that I think Andrew Savage is going to do really well. Kelly Wentworth is going to do really well. I think the people like Monica Padilla, who people aren't expecting necessarily to get on there, are going to go really far because people are going to go after the big
Justin
fish.
picks everybody, you guys. He wants
because
everybody.
I feel like I'm rooting for people like I want to see like a Sierra do well, but I feel like those people like Cass and Sierra, they have bigger targets going in this season.
30-minute show,
Sorry.
moving on. Willpower 9411 says, first Survivor took American Idol's ratings, then it took their methods for eliminating players. Survivor.
What?
Which is funny.
Snap.
Do you get that or no?
No, I don't. I don't watch.
She doesn't watch
shows.
American Idol.
No.
She watches The Voice, another Mark Burnett show who she
Yes.
loves. This is from Mike Durr. It says, surprise twist, the 11 that didn't make it are already in a secret tribe playing the game Survivor.
Ooh, that would be awesome.
And then the last one is from the huge Survivor predictor, Justin F. Walter. My prediction, Mama C is going to win. Mike runner-up and back in. So
Way to go, Justin.
Justin does not know shit about Survivor.
I'll admit it. At the last hour, when Mike decided to bring Mama C, I thought he was.
Bro, you're
not
supposed to
gonna
be a
win.
Survivor expert. You can't tweet
you know what?
stuff
I'm a
before the
fan.
end.
Yes.
You notice Bill O'Reilly never says who's going to win president until the day after.
Justin's
I'm a fan.
not scared.
I am not scared to be wrong. I'm not scared to be wrong. I'm not an
Right.
expert. I'm a fan. And just because I don't know necessarily every single fact about Survivor, I'm getting flustered.
Why are you yelling at me?
When people
What did
call
I
my
do?
fandom into question, no. I think it goes to show I'm a fan. All right, whatever.
Yes.
I'm wrong. Big deal. No big deal.
You know what?
Go
I
ahead.
will say this about Justin. Anybody out there who doubts for a second that he's a super fan, you know what?
Hence
you guys, yeah, Mike, sir, this is me talking to you. Justin really is a super fan, and don't pick on him, man. He gets things wrong sometimes. There's 30 freaking seasons, and I guarantee, Mike, if you come on our show, which you better, when we grill you with questions, you better know every single one of them. That's what I'm gonna say.
See how she defends him? She doesn't
Thanks,
defend me
guys.
when I'm
Thanks.
also hated.
Well, you deserve it. Sometimes you do. Okay, so anyway, this water slide challenge, right at the end of it, Will gets all like choked up when Mike wins, and he's like, oh, Jeff, oh, this is the craziest thing I've ever done in my life. I've never been pushed this far in my whole life. And then he says he wants to put Mike's necklace on him.
It's kind of touching, I think.
It really was touching.
I can also speak to doing something that physical and outside of your comfort zone and having just gotten through it, you definitely feel, I mean, people feel it all the time when they do a marathon, when they do something of that caliber, it makes you feel like you can conquer the world in those few moments. And the cameras were happened to be there, and he had like a real moment, which he hasn't had very many positive real moments. So it was a good moment for the show and for him.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, you know what? We're going to take a little break for a little word from the stream.tv. When we come back, we're going to look and see if you guys have anything to say about the tribal council and how that went down.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
Just in case you missed it live.
Oh, just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live, I'm doing something right now.
So we're all super excited.
This is dancing.
So what would that be, like a 7?
I cannot. I literally cannot. You guys have got to get it together.
Don't hate the player, don't hate the game. Hate the contract you didn't get.
He's a coward. He's a giant chicken shit.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's going to be like hurricane. Whoa.
Watch out for those girls. They are gagging them.
Hold the phone,
Hold on.
bro.
The more brutal you are, the more power you have.
Right.
That was sexy. It was hot. It was heated. I was into it.
You are going to be the most high-paid hooker in the world.
Go ahead and invite your friends and everybody. Tell your mama. Tell her, go ahead and turn the stove off and get up on the computer so we can get on the stream.tv.
Thank you again for joining us, and until next week, bye-bye.
Something up.
Hi, everybody. We are back, and we are still talking about the Survivor One World finale. We're going to get right into the tribal council. Right before tribal council, they all came back to the beach holding hands and having this like total kumbaya moment, which
you love.
Yeah.
She loves kumbaya.
Everybody's getting along and it's all lovey-dovey and I'm like, ugh.
Jerri gets awkward when people like each other.
I know, it's very odd, it's true. And sure enough, Rodney is just absolutely certain that Mike is going to take him to the end. Totally clueless up to the very end of this game. Up until the tribal council and the reunion show, still thinking he would win if he got into the final 3. So.
Well, what's crazy too is Mama C did something right to make Mike come to her and say, I'm not writing your name down. You need to practice building fire all day because it's going to go down to fire building.
How did you feel about that, though? The fact that he was directing her exit or stay in the game.
He has all the power. He can do whatever he wants.
And I think part of it was strategic on Mike's part because if she gets to the finals with him, he can go back and say, I gave Mama C my word when all you backed out on me. I gave her my word. I'm true to that. I also told her to practice all day for fire building, so it gives him a sense of that fire building win because he made her practice all day.
I also felt that she could have said that too. She should have also said, I played a great game, that I'm his biggest threat right now, and he still brought me because I played such a great social game, and she did not say that, which I thought she should have said a lot more of that.
I was so sure it was going to be Tina and Colby all over again.
I was feeling that way too. I mean, they obviously were leaning that way, but again, I thought that the conversations that the jury had with each other, not even with the contestants that were on there, switched everyone's mind.
What happened to the speeches from the 3 final people? Why were there no speeches? I really am curious why that didn't happen.
I don't know. It's
like the first time ever.
It's like going to a presidential debate. There's no opening remarks.
Right.
There's no tone. There's no, this is what I did. So I felt like we as a viewer lost like a big portion of that.
Yes, I agree.
My guess would be part of it was taken away because of the fire building, and I feel like it just didn't make the cut in the episode because there wasn't enough time.
That makes sense, because that took a long
Because the fire building, when it came down to Mama C versus Rodney to get into the final 3, that took a long time. They were at it for how many? Over 45 minutes?
Okay, yeah, let's comment on that, by the way. I'm sorry, but you guys, seriously, building a fire with a piece of flint and magnesium is like so easy.
You do that in your car when you're driving.
I still carry flint and magnesium in my car to this day.
She really does, which is
I
scary.
It is so easy, and the key to doing it is building a big pile of magnesium, period. That's how you get it. I can't believe that went on for an hour. I'm just sitting there going, you guys have been on the island for 39 days. How do you not know how to do it?
Here's a question from Joseph Lim on this topic. Okay, so Jerri, how often do people practice making fire on the show? Do people practice while they're on the island making fire?
Nobody practices. You do it daily. If you're the person who gets the fire started, at some point it's going to go out. It didn't really rain this season. They had it totally made.
Yeah.
But generally, everybody has a general knowledge of how to start a fire.
And I imagine if someone doesn't know how, was like, hey, help me out here really quick. When you first learn, in 39 days, someone's going to be like, this is how you do it. Yeah. But it's also not rocket science. But who also goes on that show and does not know how to do it or know how to tie knots and do stuff blindfolded and like practice?
It's true. It's true. Those are things that you should definitely learn before you get out there.
You need to train before you go on the show.
But the fact that it took an hour, I can only say this with this level of judgment because I have been there and I know exactly what is required with those 2 materials to start a damn fire.
Well, and
it was very close.
And how crazy after an hour they both get their fires going at the same time.
Which is
right.
You can't write. This is why I love Survivor and love this show. You can't write this stuff.
Right.
You cannot write this stuff. It is amazing.
Right. Because that whole scene, like the timing and everything else was like, it was like building up. Rodney's fire looked like it was huge and out of control, and who knew that
he didn't make the teepee.
Yeah.
My dad taught me to make the teepee when I was little. Like, this is how you build a fire. You make a teepee.
His rope in plastic or something.
Right. So the jury itself, and they didn't really ask that many questions. They kind of just addressed a bunch of stuff, and then they voted. Okay. That's what I felt like.
Yeah. It was a lot more. Let me say something compared to answer my question.
Right.
I asked the question on YouTube, what was your favorite part of the jury speeches? And it's blown up with Shireen's.
Shireen was the best.
Basically, first giving a Sue Hawk type speech of giving everybody an animal, and then quoting Sue Hawk. It was pretty well done.
She is truly a super fan to bring that particular speech up, and hers was by far the highlight of the entire thing.
Right.
And I will
she was a millionaire too.
I know.
That probably will that hurt her going
Oh.
into 31? I was shocked.
Yes.
I was shocked when she said I had my first million by 25. Good for you. I wish I had a million by
Good
I'm
luck
30.
in season 31 or 2.
Will that make a difference when all these people
Yes.
watching now they know she's a millionaire?
Yes,
Yes.
it will make a difference, absolutely.
They're gonna because they use every little thing that you have against someone against them, and for sure they're gonna say she doesn't need the money.
Yeah,
She's gotta
absolutely.
go.
Well, and you back in when she said that, she had no idea she was going to be up for this second chance season. So
Right.
you don't, you can't take that away.
Every time I see a tribal council, I'm always brought back to Australia, and then I see how it's changed so much over the years. In Australia, in tribal councils back then, you were not allowed to have a one-on-one dialogue with someone. You asked one question to both people that were left, and that's it. If they said something you didn't agree with, you were not allowed to retort anything
so like
back.
Dan.
I mean, they're having conversations now. They're asking different questions to different people. They're addressing the jury.
Right.
This is
There's
all
no-
completely different than the way we
Right.
play
There's
in
no
Australia.
structure to it
I like
anymore.
it.
There's no
You-
structure. It's just sort of just an open season.
Yeah, which
for them.
I wish we could have done that in Australia. I really do. But,
Lord knows you'd have a lot to say.
Oh, I did. I had so much more to say than I was allowed to.
Well, what other speeches even stick out to you? You
That's
like
it.
Jen's.
Yeah.
It was all right.
It was all right. But you know
Whatever.
what? Let's not even waste our time on that. We got to get into
Yeah.
this Survivor Second Chance thing because I'm still like shaking right now. So anyway, they all vote. We go to the reunion show. And Mama C gets 1 vote. Mike wins the $1 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
See ya.
Are you guys happy
Nice
with
winner.
Mike winning? I know.
Yes.
Well,
I am.
I'm happy with Mike. One last thing, just to ask you guys is, are you surprised Mama C didn't get more votes?
I thought she would get a couple more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only vote she got was Sierra.
Right.
And then Will got Rodney's. Everybody else voted for Mike.
Right. I was surprised.
Congrats, Mike.
Yeah.
You definitely deserve this win.
Yes, Mike.
We've been cheering you on all
Congratulations.
season.
I picked you from day one.
She did.
And I am so glad that you won. And I know I told you that the other night when I met you. Congratulations. Enjoy the $1 million. Spend it wisely.
And
now.
I will predict, I'll make this right prediction, we will see Mike back on a future Survivor.
Oh, for sure. We absolutely will see him. But anyway, let's
I
get
don't know.
right into Survivor Second Chances because we are all shaking and freaking out right now. And I just want to say yay to Jeff Varner, to Kimmy Kappenberg, to Terry Dietz, to Kelly Wigglesworth, all OGs that I have been pushing for every single day. Yay. I cannot wait to see you guys play again.
Is OG like old geezer? Is that what that means?
Original gangster, yo. What are you talking about? Come on.
I have some inside information.
Whoa.
Let's share with the group. I got a text from someone who was one of the second chance that did not make it on the show. I sent this person a text that said, damn it. And this person replied, thanks, my love. I actually found out 30 seconds before I sat down that I did not make it. Several of us accidentally saw a production sheet with our names X'd out.
Oh my gosh, that was so
So
brutal.
So I had 20 seconds to compose my face before sitting down.
Oh my God.
Okay, I will say this. That
That's
was
horrible.
the
Hard to
most
watch.
brutal reveal I've ever seen of you make it and you don't. Like, it just seemed so cold and not like, I'm so sorry. It's just like,
Well, I mean,
You're not
but I mean, Jerry,
playing.
honest, it's like a live television show trying to keep the pace. They can't like just
I
cry with every
know.
person.
I know that. I know
It's
that for
supposed to,
time.
My
but
heart.
But-
you know why we're talking about it? We're so because it was that intense and it was that sort of pace. That's why we all were into the show.
It was
I'm aware
great
of that, but
TV.
it still hurts to watch. And I love Troy Zan didn't make it, and who else that I wanted to
Stephanie Valencia.
Stephanie Valencia. There's like some people that I really wanted to see on there that just. didn't
I
make it.
loved how it went down. I thought it was, like I've said for so many times, I was like a real life Hunger Games.
Because honestly, I would also say
And
too,
it
you
was
haven't liked
like-
the finales lately.
No,
like, you have not been a big fan. I felt this gave new energy. I
This
thought it was great.
What I think is just mind-boggling is these people are sitting on a bus right now. These people are going to be going to an airplane to Cambodia. These people, we know, this is the first time in 30 seasons, we know exactly who the cast is before they're going.
It's exciting.
It's in real time. They're going to go. We're going to see them in the first episode at the finale, going in and seeing footage of this if they do it with
This
GoPros
should all be
and
live.
everything. It is crazy.
I think they should do a live
And
Survivor.
I'm so excited for it. I do think it turned out to be a fantastic cast.
Who
Right.
made it that you're upset about making it?
I'm not upset about it. There's some people that
Boo woo! Come on, you said it backstage.
No, I think there's a couple people that I'm surprised.
Yeah.
No, woo. is what she
Oh
said.
my gosh, woo. Oh, here's the
She
thing.
didn't say boo hoo.
Woo, woo, yeah.
Woo.
Woo. I'm sorry, would not have and did not vote for woo. But a lot of people on YouTube are saying they think Wu is the person who took Mike's spot. They think because Mike probably had a spot, but he was ineligible because he won the season.
Troy's in. I'm so
someone
sorry.
out of the males, because I would be willing to guess Mike was in the top 10.
For sure.
100%.
Yeah.
So one of those males was number 11.
Right.
They got in. And people on here are saying they didn't on YouTube. Boo woo.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
Boo-woo.
surprised Brad. I'm surprised Brad did not make it.
Brad,
either.
Culpepper, Shane, those two should have totally gotten on. They're like very controversial, very aggressive players,
Right.
and they always have a tendency to rub people the wrong way. Great TV. So sad they're not going to be on there. But I will say I'm so excited about this season, more so than I have been in years.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
And one thing I think is good is we were scared originally that a lot of the old school players weren't going to get on.
I was super scared.
But
yeah.
there's a good number, and I think it is a good balance, and I think it's going to be really fun. And like to see Andrew Savage and Jeff and Kimmy and
Yes.
Kelly Wigglesworth and PG, like the first 15 season people did get in, and it's going to be really fun.
Kelly did not do any press, so she has not said anything to anyone
didn't
about
need to.
anything.
She didn't need
But I'm
to.
just saying, like, we don't know anything about her, where she's at, or what
People
her
have
head's
wanted
at.
to see her
And I
come
hope
back
to God
forever.
that she really does show us something new and exciting, and I hope that she does really well. So, okay, before we go away for a whole hiatus, which I'm going to miss you guys terribly, is there anything you want to say, to kind of sum up this season or our experience together here on the stream?
I will start saying that, we love the stream. We want to thank all of our
Yes.
fans for coming and watching us and supporting us here. Like, the network's great. This has not been my favorite season of Survivor. I've been very clear about it, but I'm very satisfied with the ending. A lot of times I'll love the season and then not be happy with the winner.
Yeah.
I am happy with the winner, even though he hates me.
He'll get over it.
I love I agree with you. The finales are long. I mean, this is like 3 hours. Like, it is
Yeah.
a lot to take in, and like, we don't need to rehash everything with the cast. We didn't really touch on the will and all the other stuff. So like, that kind of drama gets old. I don't really care if they bond and move on. I love the excitement of what they did. I thought it was fresh, bold, and something new for them, as opposed to like an extra vote at Tribal Council. So looking forward to the next season, and I love you guys so much.
Oh, I love you too.
One thing too, with thank you to the stream.tv, also our podcasts are going to be on iTunes, and next season we'll have all of them on
Yes.
iTunes. Download them on iTunes, listen to his podcast. I love
And all of our
Survivor.
help from the other Survivor sites that post our shows.
Yes,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Survivor Fandom, Survivor Wiki, and so excited to obviously still be doing this with you guys. Survivor, I love you. I'm so excited for 31. 15 years of my life, I have been watching and loving the show so much. I'm so excited for 31 and for the future seasons. Love Survivor, love you guys. It's been a fun season, and like you said, I am happy with how it ended. I don't think it was, as Jeff said, one of the best seasons ever. I don't know if I'd put it in my top 5. We had a lot of great tribal councils.
Yes.
And a lot of great moments.
Yes.
But as a whole, I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's my favorite. I'm not saying it's my least favorite.
Right.
But I'm happy with how it ended.
Well, I'm
Miss Manthey, here we
I'm
go.
so happy that we've gotten to do this again together, and
Yes.
it's been a lot of fun. And I know there's been a lot of controversy about some of the things that we've said in the show, but really I just want to stress, especially to the cast of Survivor, that I understand what you're going through. I understand what it's like to be on that side of it. And really, this is all just in fun, and we love you guys, and we love the show. And this is going to be very hard for us not to be here every week to share our thoughts with you. But thank you so much for watching and sending us your questions and your comments. We love all you guys, all our fans and our viewers, and we cannot wait to come back for the next season of Survivor here at the stream.tv. So I'm going to miss you guys terribly.
Yeah, have a good summer, guys. 'Cause we really don't see each other outside of this. We're not friends.
We're not friends.
We put on a good
That
act.
was a very evil laugh, Justin. All right, you guys, thanks so much for joining in, and we'll see you next season. We're going to miss you. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Hate you season 30.
See you guys in September.
Hate you. For more of the Survivor After Show, click that button and subscribe to thestream.tv.